be here to shine in the NWA TNA.
Hey, this is Toxic Reign Scandal featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King. We are here at it again. We here at the locker room, guys. We're here to talk about the backstage fight of CM Punk and TNA. Now, what we're talking about particularly, we're talking about CM Punk's tenure in TNA, total nonstop action. This was the early days of TNA, was under the TNA NWA banner. For those you don't know, the National Wrestling Alliance banner before TNA became its own entity. So before it became its own entity, this is about maybe 2002, CM Punk debuted in TNA. During his tenure there, he had a little scuffle. He had a scuffle with another wrestler, and his name is Teddy Hart. And he is a part of, yes, the famous Hart family that we know. We know Bret Hart, the late Owen Hart, Bruce Hart, Jim Anvil Neidhart, which is Natalya's father, so on and so forth. So we definitely know about this family, but they had a little fight. And when they had a fight, according to Teddy Hart, he did his interview, he said that CM Punk got that work. That's the crazy part. But we're going to hear shortly of the Teddy Hart interview of this backstage fight between himself and CM Punk, a younger CM Punk, not the of course early 20s. Well, than that though, guys, we're gonna definitely dive into this one. It's gonna be a very interesting one, and this will be the backstage fight of CM Punk in TNA. And of course, he will be on. I think he's on with Sean Oliver in this interview. So we're gonna listen and see what Mr. Teddy Hart had to say regarding this interview, and it's going to be crazy. So let's dive in. You guys get the likes up as we are in the locker room. Also, we live on Facebook. Get the likes up over there, or come on to Red Carpet Ring on YouTube. Greatly appreciate it. Come on over there. Don't be lazy with the like button. So we're going to hear talk about the backstage fight. We are now going to tune in into the Teddy Hart interview that he talks about between him and CM Punk and how it went down. Of course, as usual, it's time to air the dirty laundry. Let's go.
I understand reliability, what straight edge is, and Pepsi on his sign on his arm, and is like, I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't understand what straight edge is or what that stuff is. I understand reliability. He was there on time. He showed up. He didn't miss his flights. Fucking give CM Punk fucking kudos. What else is playing the game? When I saw CM Punk, he said, "The fuck you smiling at?" And I said, "Don't do the pull apart. Shut the fuck up. Walk outside." I said, "I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but you want to talk about balls? I'll challenge my fucking I'll put my balls against any fucking guy on earth. Balls of balls. CM Punk is the only motherfucker to man up, and he has no idea how close he came to getting fucking killed." And I trained for years, and I've been in enough street fights. We're not playing wrestling games.
Right.
You fuck with me, I'm going fucking Haku styles for your fucking eye. So I'm going for your nose.
He's there. You're both
there.
there.
Where I walk down the hill is Hot Shot Johnny Devine did a shoot interview, and you can hear him describe what happened in the fight. And Sabu is there. You can hear him describe what happened in the fight. I take off my watch, take off my stuff, my headphones, and I had this idea that I better just say, "Hey, man, let's fucking shake hands. It's not really worth fighting over." I said, "Dude," I said, "this."
He said that.
I said it.
Oh, you said it.
I said, "Dude," I said, "this is a fucking joke over a guy doing a couple backflips. It wasn't in your match. Didn't hurt you. It's not like I put CM Punk on the top ropes and said, wait for me, and then double fucking stomped his fucking head.
Right.
Or, hey, and I turned his face, put a chair over it, and dropped a fucking leg drop, but my ass hits the chair. not even his problem, but he decided to be that guy. So I offered my hand to him, and like a dumbass wrestler, guess what he does?
Sucker punch.
Tried to slap me across the face. Before he could drop his hand, I'm lightning fast, straight edge, and he has a no-poke.
All right, that is Teddy Hart that's speaking right now. He was in the TNA promotion along with CM Punk. He is the nephew of Owen Hart and the legendary wrestler, Hall of Famer Bret Hart. And he explained how they got to a backstage altercation, led to a fight. So this is crazy, but you could tell that he was very, very eccentric of what he was saying, so to say the least. But it just showed, man, that you could tell that he got some emotion regarding the fight, and he wanted to stop it. Of course, CM Punk, I'm not saying CM Punk's in the right here. He did, try to suck a punch or slap him, and Teddy Hart just went off and, let him have it. But good Mr. Goodbread, what do you think of what he's saying so far before we get any further?
Man, this guy is nuts, man. This guy's a damn lunatic. But again, I believe him. I think he's authentic. He's telling the story the way it is. And again, he still gave CM Punk his point. So I'm interested to see what else he's gonna say.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is picture of CM Punk and his run. And we definitely gonna see what's going on. Happened in his neck. What else happened, of course. And we definitely got to see what happened during this run in TNA, because we only got a little one part to it. That's another part to it as well. So we got to definitely see. But I am interested to know, and we're gonna see what happened next. So with that being said, let's get some more reaction of this.
He does.
Sucker punch.
Tried to slap me across the face. Before he could drop his hand, I'm lightning fast, man. And I don't care. Again, put me on a speed bag or something, and I'm trying to sell myself, but especially at this stage, I boxed all the time. And I was lifting, taking steroids, fucking very strong, very fast, and light, very strong. I'm leg pressing. I'm squatting 4 plates aside for reps, and I'm doing probably 12 plates aside on leg press.
Right.
So, and I could slam dunk a basketball. So, I mean, I'm very, at this stage, I was the best shape I was ever in. And this is coming from a guy who's in pretty good shape now for 37. And he got fucking 2 shots. I hit him twice. And he crumbled. And he tries to go for a double leg. I told this story like 5 times, but again, it's one of those things. And my natural reaction was when he went to double leg, I grabbed his hair and I spun around his face, and I was going to take my fingers and stick them as far up his nose and rip his fucking nose off his face.
Right.
And I would have, you'll probably never hear about me having a fight again. And Sabu, I guess, fucking, he knew Punk was in trouble, man. He was on his back. And I mean, you're basically out on the ground, no referee. I'm talking fucking stomps. Can you imagine how fast? It's like fucking, it's not like one of those movies. You hit a guy 4 or 5 times in the face on the ground with his head against the concrete.
You can kill him.
He's fucking done, man. And I'm smart. I'm going to drop both my knees on his fucking face and fucking grab that long hair and drop 2 fucking elbows. Not that bullshit UFC where they got to kind of take care of you. I'm dropping 2 elbows right on your fucking eye socket or on your spine.
Right.
They banned those elbows to the spine for that reason, because you can fucking dislocate a guy's vertebrae.
Right.
Very, very fast like this. And this is one of those things, man. I'll take any bump in the ring you want to drop me off my fucking head. Do whatever you want to me or Jack. You step into the street, there is no game anymore. It's
all right. Jeez.
God,
this guy has a problem, man. I mean, what is wrong with you, man? I mean, how much enhancements did you take? Dude, how many did you inject in your body every day? Yeah, this is terrible, man.
me you did not just say that?
Did you really have to do all that because he slapped you in the face, Teddy Hart? Did you really have to do all that? I mean, you say you almost took this guy out. You almost deleted him. You know, it's sad. You need to calm that down, partner. You're doing too much. Now, it's another picture of CM Punk at TNA. If you guys familiar, Ace Steel was a manager. He was also in AEW. And I believe he was terminated during the CM Punk. If you guys know history, Ace Steel wrestled with him in TNA. He later on became a manager in AEW. And following the media scrum in 2022 last year, when CM Punk was at the time suspended, this guy in front of him, Ace Steel, was fired, released. He was released from AEW due to that whole melee between Punk and the Elite backstage. This is how long he's known Ace Steel. Now, this is 2002, 20 years later, they back to AEW, and they both are not with AEW right now. So that shows the history between both of these men. They know each other for quite some time. If you do the history on that one, just to give you a little history lesson regarding, CM Punk and Ace Steel. Anything else you want to add, Good Bread, to that?
No, man, but this guy is dangerous, and this is interesting. Why have nobody done this video right here? Like, this is locker room news, guys. Hit that like button, and I'm interested. Let's go.
Yes. Come to the locker room news. We are at the lockers right now. Get you a seat at the bench at the locker room. Let's listen to what happens behind the scenes in the wrestling business. And with that being said, this interview's not over. It's another part to this. Let's continue. And we do it locker room style like we always do.
Fucking do or die, and you got one chance to make a reputation. And that was like, so I was very mad and very upset. And Sabu, I think, saved CM Punk's career because I was gonna fucking kill him for doing that. And I don't think you would have ever heard about CM Punk doing the MMA. You would have never heard about him being one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE. And I put him over as one of the greatest entertainers overall playing the game. For the time he had while he was in there, that guy was a fucking king.
Right.
And I give him this, and this is, you have to hear the whole video. You can't just cut a part of it out and make it sound like I hate CM Punk. I don't.
No.
He's a fucking stud. The guy turned out to be a fucking stud. Had a lot more charisma than I originally thought he did. Took a fucking weird little angle and niche and built it into a fucking mega superstar that became a millionaire in wrestling. And give him all the props in the world for being the first guy to have the balls to step outside and fucking challenge me to a fight. And fucking after that, he is in a room with me by myself, and I remember thinking, I'm gonna fucking knock him out again. He's fucking brutal, and we're standing right beside each other, and the Harris brothers are basically lecturing us about fighting at a show.
Where were you?
And we're just sitting there, and this is the TNA building now.
Oh, TNA.
Same night, right after the fight's over, they pulled us aside and made us stand there. And I remember sitting there with him going, I'm gonna fucking, because I knew he wasn't shit.
Okay. This is where he's getting to the part of after the fight, what happened, the aftermath, and pretty much the effect part, the cause and effect afterwards the fight. Now this guy said that he knew how to fight real well, but what they don't know is during this fight that things could have got really, really serious, and it, like he said, he could have took CM Punk out, and in the midst of that, he could have hurt himself too. And I know that CM Punk, slapped in the face. But what he should have did, he should have gave him a warning, heads up, saying, "Hey, you could have roughed him up a little bit. Did you have to go MMA on him?" It's not like he went MMA on him. I thought that was way too much. I think he could have it could have been similar to the Jericho Goldberg thing. He could have put him in a headlock or something. Could have pushed him a little bit. Smacked him back or something, whatever. But to go MMA on him like this is UFC, and CM Punk's a small guy, that's kind of too much. It's too much that he's guy was doing. This guy's crazy. I don't know what. That's what I feel like towards this so far. Good break. You give me your take on this. If you have anything else to add for this particular segment?
He says so much that it's like I appreciate the fact that he's being authentic and he's giving CM Punk his credit. It's like he said, don't take pieces of the story. Listen to what he's saying. He's telling the whole story. So I believe him. I believe everything he's saying. But again, like what you said, this could have got way worse, bro. And now I see why they make the boxers in professional boxing. They make them license their hands so they're not out there doing this. You know what I mean? Street fighting is illegal, and you come on, guys. And it's over nothing. It's over nothing because CM Punk walked past him and made a gesture like that. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me, man.
Yeah, this guy's lost his mind. There's something wrong with him. Yeah, of course, like I said, it's another clip of CM Punk with Mr. Teddy Hart. You need to, I don't know, whatever you was taking at the time, you need to get off of it because it's surely it's making a difference in everything you do. I see the side effects from it. I see the side effects from it. The side effects from this guy. You need to stop it. And this is just crazy.
I don't mean to laugh, but you're right, man. This man is on drugs.
I mean, you audience, let me know. Does this dude sound like a lunatic? I will say yes. He is beyond a lunatic, and he needs to get off of it. Whatever substance stuff you're on, get off of it, please, because this is unnecessary, bro. I mean, you got that pride. I think I could take anybody down kind of energy. This is not about taking anybody down. This is being smart. You're still working at a professional wrestling company. This is business, bro. Now, CM Punk, like he said, it ended up making CM Punk. He went on to become the name he has today. Teddy Hart, I haven't heard nothing of you. Your career went down the toilet. So that shows that one incident can change someone's career for better or for worse. CM Punk for the better, Teddy Hart the worse. Let's continue on with this interview of this lunatic dude that looks like he needs to chill out. See what part of this we got to say. He lost it, man.
He wasn't shit. So I really wanted to get him again. I'm just like, I don't really want to be in TNA anyway. What if I just fucking sucker punch him right now and I just take him down and fucking grab that hair and fucking start to beat the fuck out of him again and get it over with this time? And I was like, man. And I remember just looking at him and I was like, and we're right. It's awkward. Imagine you and me after we fought, just sitting there, just waiting, and there's no one really around the hair, and we're waiting for the Harris brothers to come up, and he's fucking crying. He's got tears in his eyes, and he's got a little shiner, and they end up firing CM Punk because they asked who threw the first punch, who started it, and they said CM Punk did. He punched Teddy first, and they said, "Oh well, he's gone." Jeff Jarrett offered me a contract.
Were you shocked?
Fuck.
I mean, that's the first
time. I didn't take the contract.
Something actually goes your way.
This is the first time, and I again in retrospect, for not having a job now and the way my life went and things, maybe I should have taken that job in TNA when I had offered to me at that time. It would have been a lot of great matches with AJ Styles. Would have been matches with Kurt Angle. Because I looked at TNA as the CFL, and I still thought I could play in the NFL. Right. I didn't want to settle for the fucking CFL. WWE I still always do, and it breaks my heart that the WWE.
Do you think it would have hurt your WWE comeback if you went to TNA?
At that time, I think it would have been. I would have got miles on my car that I wouldn't have got to be. I mean, in retrospect, I ended up wasting those fucking miles on Jersey All Pro and fucking Mexico.
All right, that is the last part of that clip. Teddy Hart talked about the whole backstage incident between himself and CM Punk. What led to him being CM Punk being fired from TNA, and of course, Teddy Hart, who his career went down nowhere. One for last name, I don't even know who you were. Let's be honest here. Not only you made yourself look bad, you made your legendary family name look bad. So you need to get that together. But this is ridiculous how this dude was acting. The way he carried himself was very unprofessional. He has no kind of etiquette. I mean, you could have done anything better to resolve a situation. Like I said, you could have put him in a little headlock. I get that he smacked you. I get that you tried to make amends with CM Punk. But did you really have to stop him down and try to beat him and take him down like a dog? Did you really have to maul him like that? No. Now, my question is, if this was the Bobby Lashley, Mark Henry, Big Show, Brock Lesnar, would you have that same kind of energy for those guys? I don't think you would. I think you would have some sense. You definitely would CM Punk. That's the kind of energy I'm getting from this Teddy Hart guy. So that's my take on that. You got anything you want to ask Gilbert?
Aside from the fact that this man sounds like what he truly is, and that is a criminal, you know what I mean? You didn't touch on the fact that this man went to jail, man. This man ended up getting locked up. So he wastes a waste of talent. You know what I mean? A waste of talent. And remember, hurt people hurt people. And he could have ended CM Punk's career just because he's a nobody. You know what I mean? And it sucks. But at the end of the day, nothing happened. It turned out for the best. But this is amazing right here. I did not know this information until today. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate your channel, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, don't go away just one bit yet. We do want to add some stuff here. I want to add that during, like you said, you mentioned, and let's bring that up right now to the panel. There is some legal troubles going on with Mr. Teddy Hart. Let's see what that is. It shows right here. The same guy, ex-WWE star Teddy Hart court hearing date pushed back to a later time. And what date does that say? December 14, 2023. That's today. So it seemed like after all these years, you thought this guy would have learned his lesson. He's still getting in trouble. What's the chances? It says Teddy Hart achieved a remarkable feat by becoming the youngest person to secure a developmental contract with WWE back in '98. At the time, his future seemed incredibly bright. A series of legal troubles have since cast a shadow over his reputation. It's recently come to light that Hart's court has been rescheduled for the following year. Let's see. It says reported, according to Ringside News, he found himself facing multiple drug-related charges. As Gilbert mentioned not too long ago, his arrest took place in Brevard County, Florida, and included allegations related to marijuana, steroids, clearly, and MDMA. Let's see what the story says. The incident occurred on July 14, 2023, around 11:09 p.m., when Officer Gonzalez spotted Teddy speeding down Shaney Highway in a 2022 Ford Mustang, disregarding traffic signals. Teddy made an illegal left turn, prompting the officer to pull him over near 3500 Cheney Highway. Upon approaching the vehicle, Officer Gonzalez detected a distinct odor of burning marijuana. The behavior of Teddy and his passenger, Brenda Shaw, raised suspicions, and discovery of partially concealed medical marijuana container in the glove compartment deep in concerns. Then instead, it called for backup and requested Teddy and Brenda to leave the vehicle. First suspicion arose when the loosely marijuana was found on Brenda's seat. When asked about the medical marijuana cards, Teddy claimed to possess one but had left it at home, while Brenda was evasive in her response. Determined to conduct a thorough search, Officer Gonzalez uncovered more loose-leaf marijuana tested positive, high for THC content. In the Black Glasses case, he also found red pills and powder. Let's highlight that. And I'm going to repeat that too. In the Black Glasses case, he also found red pills and powder, which Teddy described as a proprietary blend of vitamins, but sequent testing confirmed it was MDMA. Let's see. Said it escalated when he discovered a white fanny pack containing Teddy's American and Canadian passports, along with vials containing mastering and testosterone siphonite, both anabolic steroids. Despite Teddy's search of having prescriptions for these substances, Officer Gonzalez remains skeptical. This story gets worse and worse. Wow. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, further incriminating evidence emerged when additional MDMA and blue powder form was found in a fanny pack, leading to Teddy's arrest. During questioning at the Titusville Police Department, Teddy admitted that the substances were part of his proprietary blend of MDMA, -C. In addition to his drug-related charges, Teddy Hart was also cited for felon stop at a steady red light, which initiated the initial traffic stop. September 19th, Hart resolved this issue by paying a $283 traffic fine for the violation. He was originally scheduled to have a court hearing today, December 14th, regarding multiple drug charges. This is back from July now. An update, they said that they obtained documents pertaining to his hearing. The hearing has been postponed to January 11, 2024. Oh, man. Oh, my mind is like, I need to exercise my brain.
Bro.
I need to exercise my brain. This dude is crazy, man. And it showed in the interview as we played. This is him. And like I said, this is updated 2023. So this happened today, guys. Now, we mentioned that the TNA firing and the TNA fight happened back in 2002 with a younger CM Punk versus this guy. And he's had troubles ever since then. We're talking 21 years later. He seemed like Teddy Hart never learned his lesson, and we could hear how he carries himself in interviews. It seemed that he's still like that now, if not worse. So, like I said, say no, guys. Just say no.
Man, this guy is a lunatic. He wears that sign at. He definitely is a lunatic. Whoever agrees and say, put a 1 in the chat if you think this guy is a lunatic, bro.
Yeah, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he sounds normal. I want to see who thinks of this. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't get this with Mr. Teddy Hart. Yeah, he needs to chill pill, man. Yeah, this is crazy. Like I say, check it out here, guys. Locker Room News, where it's always drama. And I just read some more drama in addition to the drama I already read. So I pretty much gave you guys a bonus.
All right. Now, Teddy Hart, this man obviously couldn't stay out of trouble. This was the interview that we just covered. Teddy Hart talked to Sean Oliver about the fight with CM Punk. But there's another interview. In this interview this time, it's going to be with the former owner and founder of TNA. You guys know this guy. He's a Hall of Famer. I guess you call him a legend. Jeff Jarrett. You guys know locker how I feel about Jeff Jarrett. He speaks on his fight between CM Punk and Teddy Hart at TNA. It makes sense because he was the leader at the time. He was the one running the show of TNA. And he knew about the whole fight between CM Punk and Teddy Hart. The whole fight. CeeLo Meyer, salute to you. We're going to get into this interview right now. We're going to talk about Jeff Jarrett on his side of the whole story between CM Punk and Teddy Hart, see what happened. But before we do, remember, this was CM Punk. If you guys remember, this was his run. And this was his run in TNA. This is him doing his debut match back in 2002, if you guys remember.
Here to shine in the NWA TNA.
All right, let's get into Jeff Jarrett. He speaks on his interview on his podcast, My World. Jeff Jarrett with Conrad Thompson as co-host. Let's continue on. You guys get the likes of in the locker room. All right, let's do it.
Is our man CM Punk. This is a story that has been discussed a whole lot. We'll start with a quote from the Observer. They're giving Punk more promo time, and he's been very good at it. How did Punk first get on your radar in TNA, and when did you realize my man had the gift of gab?
I'd love to have this fantastic, crazy story that I spotted him and scouted him, and me and Sting, we didn't talk about it yesterday, but the reality is that my dad was running a territory. Talent came in, talent went out, talent came in, talent came out. Sting and Hellwig, their very first territory, they didn't last but about 4 or 5 months, if that. And he had to let them go, but it was the next step. And Sting, as we discussed, went down, hooked up with Watson, Eddie Gilbert, and the rest is history. But it's all part of the growing pains, if you will. Punk, though, again, during a time when we had, not to be redundant here, but, 1 day a week, ROH was going, independents were beginning to go. We had a few independents in the UK, but it was a different vibe, a different scenario. But Julio De Niro, putting those two guys together, I loved Julio. He was a bump-taking fool. And Punk, his very nature in conversations, and, Conrad, you know that. You've been in sales your entire adult life. When you meet someone, they, for the lack of a better word, curb appeal, natural charisma, just kind of the opening, hello, how are you doing? Body language. Punk has always had that. He, and some people have different auras that they give off, some more cocky or arrogant or likable or even a standoffish. To me, Punk always had.
Watch If on Paramount Plus before it's too late.
Am I disappearing?
Oh, pretty sure that's not how this works. You ready for this?
Wow, right?
Easy to talk to. Might be the first. Engaging. That's the better word. Punk's always been engaging. So these early formative years, and I saw a promo not too long ago of a Ring of Honor promo he did. Just
at the base of the stairs. That's his first one that really got everybody's attention.
Yeah, the gift of gab. I think the seed is always in somebody. You got to grow it, water it, nurture it, blossom it, and then you got to get the right opponent, and then you got to do it again and again and again. Nothing replaces reps in this business, and we were a part of Punk's early reps.
And those reps were going to get him in a little bit of hot water. The return of Teddy Hart. He comes back on February 25th. Meltzer would say it brought its own share of news and speculation as he got into a fight before the show and then had a knee injury during the show, both of which, given his reputation, have been questioned. During the afternoon, Punk was eating at the White Trash Cafe. That's a real restaurant, which is near the fairgrounds in Nashville. And
Did my man Conrad just say it's a restaurant called White Trash Cafe? Did he really just say that? Did you guys hear that, what he said in the chat and live? And it right now, even on playback. Well, he said that. Wow, they have a restaurant called that.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Wow, that's all I gotta say. Let's continue on what they have to say. And Andrew 89, salute to you.
Allows the wrestlers to eat free. Hart came in and, according to one eyewitness, asked Punk if he had a problem with him, since Hart and Punk had ripped each other on the internet since their November 1st explosion at Ring of Honor. In fact, 2 weeks earlier, when the rumors got out that TNA was going to bring Hart back, Punk told people he was going to slap him when he walked through the doors of the asylum. So let's take a timeout right there. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember there was a Teddy Hart controversy in Ring of Honor where he decided to climb on top of a cage and do like a double moonsault and just start doing stuff that wasn't discussed or planned. He just wanted to show some of his acrobatic stuff, and apparently it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and there was some physicality. And Meltzer would say those close to Punk say he hates Teddy Hart with a passion. Probably does even more now. Hart was wearing his headphones, which many think he doesn't even turn on, and was smirking before Punk bumped him. Punk made a comment, and Hart either couldn't hear it because of his headphones, or others believed he pretended not to hear it. When Punk repeated it, they ended up outside the cafe. The two were talking, with neither shouting at each other. Eyewitnesses did see Hart take off his headphones, and then Punk slapped him very hard. Punk probably figured that would be it, but didn't realize that Hart has trained in boxing and responded with an overhand right that decked Punk. Hart jumped in, 2 more shots.
You about to get that work, son. You about to get that work, son.
On the ground, and Punk had a black eye and a goose egg before Sabu jumped in. Jeff, I don't know if you were there, but there was free food involved, so you couldn't have been too far away. So what was going on? Where did you hear about this? Of this now famous CM Punk and Teddy Hart got in a fight at the White Trash Cafe.
I was going to say, everybody, so I'll give the white for new listeners, my world listeners. So at the Wednesday night shows, early days of Asylum, the first, 4 or 6 shows, we had catering, and the Asylum was on the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. And you had to walk, 4, 6, you had to walk a couple hundred yards to go from the Asylum to where the kitchen was and the mess hall or the concessions. But anyway, that's where they originally had catering for us, or we used that part of the fairgrounds, but it's a pretty good walk. But it was crappy food as well. Right at the bottom of the hill, so it's maybe 30 yards from the front door of the Asylum to the bottom of the hill, was a meat and 3. Connie, will you let our listeners know, because you'll do it better than me, what is a meat and 3?
Well, Yankees might call it a diner, but here in the South, we call it a meat and 3, where basically the restaurant will make 1 or 2, sometimes more than that. But usually there's 2 meats. Like, do you want hamburger steak or fried chicken? Those might be your meat options today. And then we'll have like 6 or 8 vegetables. Things like it could be green beans, or it could be mashed potatoes, or it could be corn on the cob, or what have you. But you'll pick 1 meat and 3 vegetables. And here in the South, we call it a meat and 3. Even if it's a meat and 2, we still call it a meat and 3. And a lot of you guys, I think, just call it a diner. Anyway, that's a meat and 3.
A meat and 3, but I like to go in and have me double meat and 5. But
yes, absolutely.
But anyway, I teed you up for that, pal. I'll tell you up for something else here in a minute. But anyway, the meat and 3 was the White Trash Cafe, and it made it real easy. They loved our business. We paid them X amount of money every week, gave the guys tickets. You go in, got your food. And, I'm not going to say everybody liked it, but it was certainly an upgrade, and it had kind of Southern hospitality, and you got you a piece of pie and all the iced tea. Anyway, so you'd go to the bottom of the hill. Conrad, I had just left and walked up to the back to the top of the hill when the
That's cap. Totally cap.
You know that food was nasty, Jarrett. You was trying to be cheap. It was a brand new company. I get it. You got the lowest offer that as much money as you could pay to get catering food for your wrestlers and your brand new company TNA, and you got one that called was, as quoted, name of actual restaurants you guys stated, White Trash Cafe. So you was being cheap. You didn't want to spend that much money. That food probably was so bad. I bet you people getting sick off that food. Let's continue.
Shenanigans broke out, but certainly you can imagine that I heard about it instantaneously. But, old Teddy, and as time's gone on, and I'm certainly not the only one. I'm sure Eric and others that have talked to Ted and maybe been in a relationship where you're potentially going to hire the guy. But, I think the first time I met Teddy was at a Calgary house show for the WWF late 90s. But Ted is another guy that has I'll call it a unique personality. But man, oh man, as time's gone on, I'd say that turns to some mental health issues, and it's a damn shame kind of where he's at. But in these early days, I had no idea.
See, Jeff Jarrett seen the same thing that I mentioned earlier. Teddy Hart has problems. Something's wrong with him. He definitely has mental issues. Even Jeff Jarrett knows that, and that's his company. He was in his company. So Teddy Hart, you on the list for that one.
You just made the list!
All right, let's continue on.
And as reading the research, there was some prior bad blood, or quite a bit of bad blood beforehand. But that didn't factor into who we were bringing in or not bringing in. And, maybe that's a little bit of, I don't say old school, but look, we wanted to put on the best Wednesday show, and you show up to work. And if you got a personal issue, we talked about Shane Douglas and Funker having an issue that I wasn't aware of at all. But, we didn't have any idea, or people didn't tell me, or if they did tell me, I'm not saying they did, I said, hey man, they can fight each other in their off time. Just don't bring it to work. And I've always kind of had that mentality. Folks, show up, be professional, and get your work done. And if you do cause trouble, we'll say it on site, you damn sure better have some leverage, because you just don't need that at work, because you don't want to have that work environment. Now, 2024, it's a completely different set of circumstances, but in 2004, it was still a set of circumstances. You don't want nonsense going on at work. And when I heard about it, I'm not sure if both Harris brothers were working for me at the time, but old Donnie, I can just imagine they came to me, and probably Bob Ryder probably had 3 or 4 different versions. And I'm sure the old Benny Rooster was trying to get all the scoop and figure it out. And I don't know whoever else would have been around that I would have probably asked, hey, give me your version. And then, look, at the end of the day, both of them could go to work that night. Donnie, we need to have a conversation with them. That shit don't need to happen on our clock. What they do after hours is on their own, but don't bring drama into work. There's enough struggles day in and day out running a wrestling show. Don't add to the craziness.
That's exactly what the Observer said, that both were brought in to talk to Don Harris, who told them both they were brought in to be professionals, and if there's another incident, they're going to be fired. And Dave would sort of freestyle that Teddy Hart came in with skepticism. The only reason he wasn't fired is because there's many eyewitnesses, including those who hate Teddy, and they say Punk started it. And the only thing he could possibly be faulted for was for smirking, making the trouble worse, and retaliating after the slap instead of walking away. It was understood, had he done that, people would have called him a pussy, and therefore he's in a no-win situation. The Torch would say TNA wrestlers also sounded off on CM Punk, who appears to be taking the bulk of the office heat for the fight. Some wrestlers have been down on Punk for whining about his push and lack of promo time. The wrestlers say Punk has rubbed some of the locker room veterans the wrong way because they don't think he's paid enough dues to be complaining about his situation when so many of them are stuck in similar situations. Meanwhile, some wrestlers are down on Punk for talking trash about Teddy prior to his TNA return. Quote, "You don't tell everyone you're going to kick someone's ass," said one wrestler. "You just do it. Teddy may be immature, but Punk is a mark. And Steve Corino is no better for bitching about their issues on the internet. Teddy is crazy, has a lot of issues, but Punk should have known better than this," end quote. There was a lot of talk backstage that Punk will be punished more severely by TNA officials because he's the one who started the fight. And wrestlers, of course, say it's no coincidence that Punk did a clean job in the Gatherings match versus Raven and Sabu. What do you remember? Was this a punishable offense? What did your dad think? I mean, if I remember correctly, you had sort of a circumstance with your dad the day of this fight with Teddy and Punk, right?
I think we just kind of,
Didn't someone think they were having a heart attack that day? I thought.
Is this the day my dad had the heart episode?
You've told me that there was a circumstance, because I think I've asked about this before, and the way I remember hearing it is you were coming down the hill when you got the news, and then your dad was
having his episode?
Yes, perhaps. That's not the way you remember it?
No, because I don't think the Hart episode was this day. But I remember, I can't say that I remember specifically, but I know.
Oh, maybe you were just coming back from the White Trash Cafe.
I was just coming back. But there were certain instances that my dad would be like draw a hard line and like no tolerance type deal and want to give me a speech. Love him, and then I would say, Dad, remember that story that you told me about Dutch Mantel and Randy Colley, or this guy and this guy, or Rick Rude and this guy, or in this fight in the dressing room and that fight in the dressing room? Remember when you said, hey man, business is business and personal is personal. Some guys got to take care of personal. Just don't let it happen on your clock, because you got to do what's best for business. And it would kind of contradict what he was trying to tell me at the moment. Like, hey, son, you can't put up with this crap. You need to fire them both on the spot and make an example out of that. Well, that doesn't always work out. And, I wasn't there and he wasn't there. So it's already a he said, she said, no matter who tells you the story, period. It's
Yeah, Jeff, but if he was telling you that Teddy Hart had issues, he didn't start the fight. I don't know. He should have been. I don't know if he was even suspended for this. I think CM Punk was fired. He may have a light suspension, but definitely more could have been done with Teddy Hart, or maybe he got a final warning. But yeah, Teddy Hart. Fast forward years later, Teddy Hart is the one who had issues, took things too far. CM Punk, I'm not saying he's right for what he did. I'm not. Thing about it is, CM Punk's the one thriving, great career. He started here in TNA, and Teddy Hart is staying in legal trouble. I just read the article of what he was doing, what he did before. So it's just crazy how life works sometimes. Things come full circle. Full circle. Yeah, so. Look at this fool here. Yeah, you out of here. I got something safe to you. You are out.
Bye-bye, bitch.
But anyway, fast forward, CM Punk, he's good. He got himself together. He's back in WWE. He literally wrestled in every promotion. He's been and started with TNA, of course, other independent promotions. Then he made his way to Ring of Honor. And of course, that's where he got real famous at, was Ring of Honor, the promo and the matches and the feuds. Then he signs with WWE. We all know how his WWE run went. Then he took 7 years off, retired. Then he came back to AEW. Now he was there for 2 years? And then he comes back to WWE. Teddy Hart, you're not doing anything. Nothing. Staying in trouble. So other than that, though, there ain't that much to be said here. I mean, everything's laid out. We heard Teddy Hart's side of the story. We heard Jeff Jarrett talk about it. Let's see. Archibald Naomi said JEFFARRETT. Oh, so you're a Jeff Jarrett fan. Okay. Welcome to the locker room. You said he should have stayed retired. He is washed. Okay. So you think now you saying not only he shouldn't have came back to WWE, Archibald, you're saying he shouldn't even came back to AEW. Is that because he gets hurt all the time? He's very entertaining. CM Punk, I mean, he's money. You can't deny that. CM Punk is money. Definitely money. But some people have their opinions. Some people think he shouldn't wrestle. Some people are glad he's back. I'm one of the people that's glad he's back. So that's a good thing about that. But other than that, though, that's all I got of the backstage fight of CM Punk and TNA. And we are talking about the backstage fight between CM Punk and Teddy Hart back at TNA This was in 2004. He debuted in 2002. The fight was in 2004. And the fight, because CM Punk started it, led to his release. And he went on to continue his wrestling career. Archibald said, yeah, he should never came back after 7 years. You know, they always say they retire. You know, they're going to never say never. That's why they say in the wrestling business, they always come back. Undertaker, if Undertaker could come back, he would. And Undertaker is what, almost 60. They just got a love for being in the wrestling business. Archibald also said he claimed he would never come back, so he's a liar. Yeah. I know Chris Jericho recently did an interview saying he's never retiring. I think Booker T just said in another interview he's never retiring. So I knew CM Punk's never gonna retire, but you know everyone got their own opinion about CM Punk though. But guys, we are gonna come back here. Got a little double header. We'll be back here. We'll have another one going on. Come back to locker room. We have 2 videos that pop up. One will be with how did Kurt and Giovanni become one? One reason Kim married Randy. You guys already know what it is. It is OUT.